Well, hello. It's a bit of a tricky day. I'm going to try and keep this short. So apparently, two or three of Pete Hegseth's, aka the president's closest advisors, marched out of the Pentagon. Not arrested though, so that's interesting. And one of them is a gentleman named Dan Crenshaw, and his big thing is, and you can watch Tucker Carlson if you want to see his interview with Tucker. He's kind of like, it's not a good idea to go to war with Iran, and that got me thinking. He said some things that I remember because I lived through them. First of all, the peanut farmer. Okay, he's the one that sold the Panama Canal back to Panama for $1. All right, he's also the one that let the Shah of Iran fall, and the Shah was a bulwark against this religious theocracy, the theocratic regime that came in and feels like they have a moral imperative from their God to rule the world. Then you fast forward, 10, 12 years, and Saddam Hussein in Iraq is fighting a war with Iran for 12, 13 years. And somehow our government decides that we need to go to war in Iraq after 9/11 when none of the evidence showed that Iraq had anything to do with it. And we take out the one guy who is keeping the Iranians on their heels. So, and then we're going to go and do regime change in Iraq. And when we got to the point where that could actually work, we pull our troops out under Obama. And 2 weeks later, that country falls. Before that, if we trace our steps back to the Kennedy assassination, he was, frankly, I wholeheartedly believe that he was assassinated by the CIA because he wouldn't go along with American foreign policy, which was to foment a war in Vietnam. So why would we do that? Well, we as Americans wouldn't do that. But it's in the best interest of the military-industrial complex to make money from wars, and that's exactly what happens, and that is the drumbeat again. And I'm at 3 minutes, so I got to wrap this up. Don't believe everything you see, and even people with the best of intentions can be tools of the evil one. Look at Peter, one of the closest apostles, who he said, "No, Jesus, I don't want you to go die for man." And Yeshua ended up having to say, "Get behind me, Satan," because what you're suggesting is not in line with what Adonai wants, right? And then you see in the Garden of Gethsemane, the same Peter is cutting off a servant's ear, right? The servant of one of the military guy. I guess he's, anyway, he's ready to fight to save Yeshua's life then too. And that wasn't what the Lord wanted. And then the third thing you see is the Lord says, "And by the way, you're going to deny me 3 times before the cock crows tonight." And by morning it had happened after his arrest. So we don't know, and we are easily used. And deception is thinking that we know and that we aren't easily used. That is the big, big deception. And that is a hubris of a sort. That is an arrogance. That, number one, you don't know what evil is. You are easily led to do things that lead to horrible evil. And you can't see it. None of us can. I'm no different. But I recognize that from history. The other thing to keep in mind two quick things. President Trump, you'll probably never hear this. I got on the White House comment line to say it. I have to say, I got through twice in one day and spoke to real people twice. That happened one time in 4 years under the previous administration that I could actually get through and say something. The rest of the time it's just closed. It's just shut down. But President Trump, anytime you're surrounded by a whole bunch of people wanting your ear and giving their opinion, just go to the bathroom. Excuse yourself, go to the bathroom, pray to the Lord. Hear what the Lord's having to say. Ask for him. Ask for his discernment. Ask to hear his voice. And the other thing is, while people are talking about, oh, it'll be easy, we'll just go bomb Iran. Remember that when Iran bombed Israel, 400 intercontinental ballistic missiles, and we're like, oh, it was a perfect, we knocked out 399 of them, and only one little girl, Bedouin girl on the outskirts of Jerusalem got some shrapnel, right? That was orchestrated. Anybody who's had any experience at all knows that was telegraphed and orchestrated by all sides. That was a dance. We're talking about a war. Completely different. And 1 million new converts to Christianity in Iran. That sounds like a move of God to me. I wouldn't be bombing Iran. Baruch Hashem.